Sandworm. Snape? Freaking creep. We're gonna inject the payload. No, he's gonna die.
See anything? See anything? Notice anything different?
Wait.
It's not as good when we're wearing two different masks.
It's fair. It's fair.
Guys, this episode. It's another Odyssey episode.
Yup.
We just had more we
We
wanted to
just
talk about.
had so much to talk about.
After that episode came out, we're like, oh, we should have mentioned this.
We should have
stuff.
mentioned when Spider-Man comes in the third act.
Yeah, this is just clickbait.
When he signs, when he saves him from Calypso.
Yeah. He makes a raft out of web. Like, you don't see Odysseus actually land on Ithaca because that's where Spider-Man was.
Tom Holland actually swings into the temple, and then proceeds to kill everyone.
I mean, Spider-Man was there. Technically.
But we went and saw Spider-Man. If it wasn't obvious, Spider-Man, brand new podcast.
Yeah, that is not. We're not reverting back to the way we first titled our episodes.
Brave new podcast. Masters of the podcast.
No.
The podcasty.
Homer's the podcast.
Super Podcast Odyssey.
Okay. Yeah, we're talking about Spider-Man. And by the looks of the box office numbers, everyone else is talking about Spider-Man.
As they should.
So forgive us if it seems like we don't have any original thoughts. It's hard to have anything unique from millions of people.
Yeah. We live
in a world where Spider-Man has become so convoluted that everyone is turning into J. Jonah Jameson themselves.
It's true.
Just talking about it.
It's true. He's a menace.
Why didn't Spider-Man save that guy's life when he backed up into a taxi? He's a menace.
It's also really tough when, we have lives.
So does Spider-Man, and that was a big part of this movie.
But
there's much to be said.
Before we get into this, please like, comment, subscribe to all of our stuff.
Web up that subscribe button.
Save that like button.
Swing in. What was that noise that just came out of you? Save that like button.
To be fair,
I feel like I can feel a hair sticking out of his mask. It's messing with me.
It's pretty humid in here.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take it off. You can't tell anyone. If this is your first time seeing us, surprise, you made it for the face reveal.
Yeah. I was gonna try to tough it out. It's too hard. But no, we went and saw Spider-Man, just like the rest of the world did. And it's a really good movie, actually.
Yeah, it was really refreshing.
It was.
It felt really good to finally watch a superhero movie. It almost that's symbolic for something, I'm sure.
Gwen Stacy be like.
First take of the episode for me, I guess, is that it kind of this Spider-Man film felt almost like it was like the beginning of another franchise.
Yeah.
Like another take on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It felt like I was watching a superhero movie and not an MCU movie.
Absolutely. I think to go along with that, I think why I enjoyed it as much as I did was because it felt very it felt very reminiscent of all of the Spider-Man content major Spider-Man content we've received, right? There was clear and direct homages and references to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, with the Amazing Spider-Man, both like 1 and 2 with Andrew Garfield, and also like the Insomniac Spider-Mans. Very big like moments where you could go, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Those were so good they had to make them again, right?
Yeah. It felt like it was a conglomerate of Spider-Man.
And I think that's kind of why, like, I was talking about this a little bit off camera with Trevor, but I guess I can elaborate a little more here since it's the appropriate channel. I think, like, I was talking to Trevor about how, like, I really loved this movie, like, really, really loved this movie, but I also don't view it as, like, the year's greatest movie made, right? And I think part of that comes not because it wasn't like groundbreaking, but because it was a movie that I had already seen before, and that's why I liked it, right?
Yeah.
Like the Odyssey and especially Project Hail Mary, like those are new concepts, new things. Well, you know what I mean, right? Like new. It's not like
this 3,000-year-old manuscript. I've never heard of this.
But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right. Like those were groundbreaking and like mesmerizing to watch because that's the first time I've ever seen that. Right. Or something that good.
This wasn't the third version of the Odyssey you'd seen in the last 20 years.
But this one just, it was a crockpot dinner.
Hey,
Right? Like,
I haven't heard that since the Minecraft episode. Wow.
it was a crockpot dinner where like it's really good, really refreshing for me at least. We talked about this.
This is the only guy who feels this way about crockpot.
Go watch the Minecraft episode and you'll understand me and Trevor's take on this.
To
But
understand the Spider-Man Brand New Day episode, you first need to watch the Minecraft movie. It's like
for
an actual
us-
MCU movie.
for us, like the crockpot dinner analogy, at least for me, was like I always enjoyed the crockpot dinners when I'd come home from school. Like it was comfortable, right? It was like probably what chicken tenders are or macaroni and cheese is to my wife. Where like in a world full of hamburgers and steaks and vegetable bakes and meatloaf and all the other stuff you can get as a kid, like my comfort food was always like a crock pot beef stew. Every time my mom made it, I was like, comfort food. Right. And that's kind of how I felt about this movie, where like in a year that we have movies like The Odyssey and Project Hail Mary and Masters of the Universe and Michael, and then later on Dune and Doomsday, right, where we're going to see crazy things on the screen. It was really nice and comfortable and felt like a nice cup of like warm hot cocoa on a winter day. Come back and just enjoy my little Spider-Man movie, you know?
This is like, I feel like I might be jumping the gun the way that we tend to talk about movies on this podcast now, but I feel like this Spider-Man movie has a really high rewatchability for me.
Mhm.
Like if I got invited to go
See it
this again while it was still in theaters,
I would do
go.
it.
I
Yeah.
would pay for my ticket and I'd go.
Yeah.
Because this was a really enjoyable and like refreshing take on the character of Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know that after Spider-Man Homecoming and Far From Home came out, the nonstop debate online was like, whose Spider-Man is better of all these actors? And everyone's always like, I think that Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man, but Andrew Garfield is the best Peter Parker, kind of a thing. And honestly, after this movie, I kind of feel like Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man in this movie is the best of both.
Yeah.
I really liked him as Peter Parker in this movie almost more than I liked him as Spider-Man because they
Yeah.
finally felt like one individual,
Yeah.
which has always been like the
Well, and I
hardest
think
thing with Spider-Man movies.
and see, I would take it a different way, but also agree, right? Like I always viewed, like Tobey Maguire was definitely the better Peter Parker, and then Andrew Garfield was definitely the better Spider-Man. So then to see this, like it felt like Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker meets Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, and we get this Tom Holland Peter Parker man.
It's him. It's John Spider-Man.
But it was just like it was good. It was when going on what you said, like it wasn't. I don't know what was the words you said. It didn't feel like an MCU movie.
Yeah, it did feel up until like even with like the inclusion of the Punisher and
And
much
the
of it,
Hulk.
and the Hulk and
Spoilers.
and then yeah, you know, it's in the advertising.
If you're watching this,
But again, spoilers again for the one thing they tried to keep secret. But even like with the reveal of Jean Grey being the antagonist of the film, like that is very much not a Spider-Man project type character, and yet it worked so well.
Yeah.
Like thinking back on it in the days since we saw it, like I'm honestly so not to say appalled, but like a little bit relieved that the consensus online with Jean Grey's inclusion was not negative.
yeah,
I've not seen anything saying like, why did they put in X-Man in this movie? Why did they do this with Jean Grey's character?
Right.
I thought that she was also a telekinetic and all that. Why is she only just jumping from mind to mind? Like, what is this? It's like, it's just they're Marvel. They can do what they want with the character. Like,
yeah.
I
Not every comic book had like portrayed the superheroes the same way with the movies, right? Like I always viewed like it's cool to see like comic book accurate like suits and storylines and yada yada yada, right? But it's also like I had to tell myself from not like a young age, because that makes it sound like I was this analytical as a kid, but I had to like tell myself, okay, like differentiate the two, right? Like these are clearly different, right? And that's okay.
Yeah.
They can be different, and they can also they can exist with each other, right? I really just enjoyed. Well, and we had talked about. I enjoyed that this one was like had no MCU in it, and we had talked about as we came out of the theater, because everyone was like that we were with was like, this might be the best Tom Holland Spider-Man. And I have a hard time like saying that, because I feel like the first trilogy of Spider-Man with Tom Holland is so much different than like this one.
Yeah, and I think that's a little bit intentional. You know, not very many heroes in the MCU have gotten a fourth movie, and I feel like of the ones that have gotten a fourth one, they have kind of taken like a big turn in the way that the character is being portrayed and the way that like their stories are, and so I don't know if this is necessarily like what they do with these characters when they're lasting this long, but like
it just was hard for me to be like, I don't know if I can say that. And that was just something that like, it was hard for me to like, to draw a comparison, right? Because on one hand, like I'll be the first one to say it. On one hand, like I definitely think that No Way Home is the best Spider-Man I've seen out of all of the Spider-Man movies made. But on the other hand, like this was the best Spider-Man movie that I've ever seen out of all of them, right? But it's hard for me to like compare those two, because they're like it's like night and day, right? They're completely different things, and it's like it feels to me almost inappropriate to compare them, because they're just not. It's like comparing like Iron Man to it's like Civil War to Batman versus Superman. You're like, well, they're only the same in the verses,
Yeah.
right?
To me, not necessarily disagreeing with what you're saying, but like, thinking of it more like comic books, I felt like the first 3 Spider-Man movies and his inclusion in other MCU projects, it felt more like this is one of those comic book runs where they have a bunch of heroes doing one big thing, Avengers type stuff.
Yeah.
And they're putting Spider-Man in these situations that all kind of like, it's all these other separate lines that if you read all of them, they all will come into this one big one later, and it'll help you understand. Versus this one, it felt like it was just a solo Spider-Man run.
Yeah.
Like this one is like solely Peter Parker focused. There's not a mention of Iron Man. There's not a mention of Tony Stark. There's barely a mention of Doctor Strange because you kind of have to. And that's it.
Yeah. Well,
Like they have the Punisher there because it's like,
yeah.
Hey.
And that's where,
New York.
like, I don't know. Like, that's where it's hard for me because I liked this movie because it didn't have any of that. And that was definitely my least favorite part of the first trilogy was that Spider-Man was so tied to Iron Man.
Yeah.
Right. But I think that I liked No Way Home, not because of the Doctor Strange and all that stuff, but because of the inclusion of the other two.
There's
Right.
like a little bit nostalgia bias.
Yeah.
Right? Like
But
I'd probably say the same.
It's hard for me to say like, oh yeah, like it's hard for me to compare them because like if someone were to tell me that this Spider-Man movie is actually like an alternate timeline, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense because they're just so different from each other, right?
There clearly is a little bit of a
But-
time jump, right?
Yeah.
Because like they have a whole montage at the beginning of him watching his best friends go through presumably
College.
4 years of college at
Yeah.
least
Yeah.
without him, right? And he's just by himself, and that's like a big like character
Yeah.
moment for him. So like they don't really make a lot of emphasis or focus on it, but there clearly is like I mean I guess it's more of like here's what happened in the 4 years, 5 years ish
That-
from No Way Home to now, like real time wise, because that movie came out in 2021, and here we are in 26. Like, here's what happened to Spider-Man during that time. Now it's present day. But,
Yeah.
like, we kind of have to have that bit of a time jump because it's like, what did he do?
Yeah. But where I'm going with this is that they're both great movies. But like I guess to follow the same trend that we've really enjoyed with the more recent like superhero movies that we've gone and seen, it's nice to see it's been really nice to see like with the exclusion of A Brand New World or Brave New World. It's nice to see movies return back to like a comic book format. That's why I think I enjoyed this one so much versus like the other ones. The other one was just good because of nostalgia and like it was cool to see all the old characters come back and them interact with each other because we've kind of been wanting that since Into the Spider-Verse showed up on the scene. But it was nice to see come back to a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, what I'm thinking, with all this retrospect that we've put ourselves through with the MCU, especially on this podcast, I think like when they were first making all those movies and where they were really successful is like when all of us were kids or teenagers and like, even to like adults that really like the comics, you're like, whoa, huge scale. I finally get to see these characters on the big screen and they're doing cool stuff like I remember seeing them do in the comic book. And CG is like really good right now and it looks super cool. And then we all got older and they kept doing that. And we're like, I'm getting kind of sick of all these explosions and character meetups.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then I feel like after everything that happened with Phase 5 and it bombing and them doing terribly with everything, I feel like we're finally at a moment where Marvel not necessarily is like focusing on quality over quantity, but is focusing more on characters and like morals and lessons
Mm-hmm.
within the characters than just look at this, the Hulk destroyed a building. Isn't that cool?
It feels like they're returning back to the original formula,
yeah,
right? Like
like this
big overarching lesson that needs to be learned, and this is how the character develops to learn that lesson, right?
Yeah. And I know that they like, make some moments in this movie of like seeing that like Peter learned a lesson. He goes to Aunt May's grave and tells May, I learned a lesson. I'm not going to be alone anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like you could really see him actually like learning and developing throughout this movie, especially through like traumatic instances. And like, they made it's almost like a classic, like growing up, like maturing teenage movie where like you're going through changes and your life is so much different and you got to learn how to adapt rather than just stick with what you're doing and prevent the changes.
See, and I actually felt like similar, but I felt it was more of the adulthood,
Exactly.
right? Where you're not a teenager anymore. Like it's not just like hunky dory, someone's gonna come in and rescue you. Like no one's coming. You've got to rescue yourself. And I think that this movie made Peter Parker so much more relatable than the other ones, because the other ones were always like high school Peter, and this one's like adult Peter, which is why I enjoyed the Insomniac like Spider-Man game, like in the games, because it's adult Peter balancing
Has experience.
actual like adult responsibilities along with being Spider-Man,
and
because that's where I am now, right?
yeah. The only thing this movie was missing was a Zendaya stealth scene.
Mm-hmm.
I would have walked out. I would have walked out the theater. I'm done throwing a rock. What was that?
Look at this taser!
Gosh.
Thank goodness.
Insomnia MJ, you can
Oh,
eat rocks. I swear.
well, let's talk about something that you didn't like about this movie. Let's be the first people to bring up something negative about a perfect movie.
The only thing that I feel like, because this was brought up when the first trailer dropped, and I felt like it was definitely improved, but maybe not, like perfected, which I can't really expect to happen. But it did. There were a handful of moments that felt really green screeny, and I know that we've brought this up a lot over various episodes, where we kind of have like an eye for it now, and so it becomes like really obvious, and so like I don't want to like knock on the movie for us pointing this stuff out, just because we're like trained eye for it now. But
we're kind of almost like
really,
unprofessional movie critics.
Yeah, like you can really see it in some instances, and I'm sure that some people who might not have a trained eye might be able to be like, whoa, all of a sudden it feels like the background plane is not really blending in with what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And so like, unfortunately, that kind of like trained eye makes it so if you even notice a little bit, all of a sudden that's all you're seeing. And so there were definitely a handful of moments where I'm like,
it really movie watchers,
I can
movie
see-
watching problems.
I can see where like the set, the props that they put start and the background begins.
Yeah.
And it's not like super seamless. Like they're not they're not
And
filming on a
I've
New
had
York
to
rooftop.
I've had to really learn how to like take myself out of it sometimes. Not necessarily for this movie. I feel like this is like the Hollywood viewpoint, trying to talk down to the lesser people. Like I've noticed that there's been a couple times in movies prior, like for example, Tron Ares, where like I get so caught up in that's not real that it ends up ruining the experience for me on what would otherwise be like a relatively decent movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was trying really hard to not do that on this one, right? But there definitely were some of that. I think something that I didn't enjoy, I won't even talk about the Punisher scope scene because I got absolutely torched.
You can do whatever you want, man.
I got torched for it.
This is your place to be open.
And I have learned my lesson. It just was a little unreal. They're a kilometer away. Let's zoom in all the way so I can see in specific detail
the memes I've
Peter.
been seeing about that moment since the movie came out are so good. So good.
Call of Duty.
Which like it's just like Peter and Jean are having a real heartfelt, like, you know, like
I'll be your
saving the world.
I'll
kind
be
of
your
moment.
friend.
Meanwhile, the Punisher, victory royale. Bye. It's so good.
Oh, but I felt like that the scope zoom in was a little unrealistic. Granted, it is all unrealistic, but of everything that they could have shown, like Punisher seeing in like clear detail from a kilometer out, there ain't no zoom on a scope.
I mean, do
that
you
you'll be
think-
able to. Anyways, but other than that, I think the thing that I like, if I had a knock on it, I think this isn't even like a film, but like a story writing and direction complaint that I've actually been seeing a little bit of, is that Tom Holland Spider-Man doesn't have a villain. And I think that is starting to drive me a little crazy. Just like, obviously,
He doesn't have like a nemesis.
yeah, like because
mean,
all the other ones do. They have like Green Goblin, or they have, you know, like that periodically pop up and stuff. But I don't know. This one, like, it just kind of seems like anytime. But all of those villains came out as like a direct consequence and like relation to Spider-Man, versus all the villains that Tom Holland's had have all originated with someone else.
Well, I think the difference with those, yeah, not to like knock on your opinion or anything, because I can see why that would kind of drive you a little nuts. But like with like the other iterations of Spider-Man, they all kind of like their villains kind of originated with Spider-Man at the same time. And so it was like, it's like baby's first villain kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And so they like grow with them, and like they evolve to them evolving, and vice versa kind of thing. And so like as was like definitely pointed out after Far From Home came out, it's like why
They're
is
all
Iron Man
Yeah.
the MCU's problem? Why
Yeah.
does everyone
yeah.
from Iron Man? And so now that Iron Man's gone, he just doesn't have
Well,
anything.
and so like with this movie, it was not that this movie definitely did better, but like then the villain was Jean Grey, and so then it was like, oh, like
Not actually a villain,
yeah,
antagonist.
and in all reality, like really has nothing to do with Spider-Man, right?
yeah.
Like it, and I'm in a weird position because I liked it, but also like I would enjoy watching a movie where he just is after the Scorpion, right? Or I would literally kill to see this Spider-Man go up against a Mr. Negative,
Yeah.
right? Like I just want to
Wasn't
see.
that in like weren't they talking about that? I feel like am I hallucinating?
I feel like
a
it was
really
talk-
old press release
I
that there was a chance that Mr. Negative was going to be the villain of the next Spider-Man movie.
that's what
I
I
feel like I had heard that maybe.
But that's like and it's not even a big complaint. That's just something that I wish that we would just get like a bona fide Spider-Man that just hates Spider-Man, and that we got to see for more than like a montage. Because everybody else, like, they hate Spider-Man because he's in the way of them chasing down something from some other MCU character, right? Like, I would have loved to see a little bit more of the Hand, or the Tarantula, or
Who?
I don't know, whatever the dude's name is, the one with the claw on his foot.
Wasn't that Boomerang?
No, no, the other one. He's the one where he's like jumping at him, and he's like
Yeah,
cutting
I know
open.
the moment. I don't think he's the tarantula.
I don't know. The Boomerang is.
I don't know if I'm like
throwing the
if I'm having
boomerang.
a blip or something, but like I don't remember that
Let's
guy's name.
let's look up.
I don't
This
know
is
that guy's name.
or like Tombstone, right? Like obviously they're all minor, but it would have been cool to see
I
him a
think
little
they're all
more.
adults. I think the only potential issue with that is that, like, you know, it's definitely well established that like Spider-Man's villain is supposed to be like the Sinister Six, and so they didn't do enough to really introduce like all of them. Like the Vulture probably had the biggest chance to be Tom
And
Holland's villain.
now he's not even in the universe
Yeah.
no more.
But like,
I think it has something to do
I
with Spider-Man.
honestly don't want him to be the villain. I mean, Michael Keaton did great and all that, but like, I would honestly rather them have like a Sinister Six type moment.
Yes. Woo!
Was it the tarantula?
It is. It's the
Okay.
tarantula.
I've been out nerded.
Woo! Woo!
They cannot see what you just showed them.
Woo! I feel so proud of myself. Sorry, I had to have my moment. I don't know, like, and obviously the Sinister Six is fine. Like, I'm not asking for like a Sinister Six movie where they fight him, but it would just be nice to see like a classic Spider-Man villain that, like, in this universe, that gets a little more, like, unfortunately, that's, I think, one of the things that I'll be the most upset at is like the whole direction with the Vulture. Because I would love to see the Vulture like be this Spider-Man's villain. Like, they kind of set it up
Yeah.
perfectly to be that way, right? In the first movie. And then movie makers do what movie makers do, and they go, "Mwah," and they threw it away.
I mean, I feel like, you know,
So it would be cool to see like
in
something like that show
in
up.
hindsight of this film, not to say that like this movie's like strengths makes all of the other movies' strengths a little bit more dim, but like I feel like this movie knocked John Watts a lot. I felt like, I mean, he probably didn't have much choice in this, but the only thing I can think to say is that he like, you know, like sucked it up to big corporate Marvel and like was like, it has to be all interconnected with this one. So
Yeah.
so look, post credit scene, Vulture and Scorpion are in jail together. They're gonna do something, and then they don't.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like we're gonna make everything saturated
Yeah.
so that the CG can pop a little better.
Well, and that's why I say I have a problem with like how Spider-Man's been written, right? It's not necessarily, I don't know if it's necessarily like this director's fault, right? And screenwriter's fault, but I think the MCU definitely has complicated Spider-Man because they have to have him connected.
yeah,
So they have to have
they have to
big
do
enough
more.
potatoes to like get Spider-Man to feel included in here.
I'm so happy that you brought that up.
Yeah, let's get off this.
Because I feel like the greatest, like this, hopefully the success of this movie will hopefully show all of the executives that like what people want now at least is the small potato stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like with the recent like San Diego Comic-Con and all the announcements that went there, like if you really think about it, like you really enjoyed Black Panther because it felt like isolated as a Black Panther story. And it's like the villain is because of Black Panther and his ancestors, like
Yeah.
what they did is now his problem.
Yeah.
And so like you look now, Spider-Man's problems are Spider-Man's problems. And he's bringing in the Punisher because that's the only person he feels he can trust. And that helps lead into the Spider-Man does not have to be Spider-Man all by himself
Mm-hmm.
kind of a thing. And I'm so glad that they finally gave him a NYPD connection. I felt like that was something that was really lacking in the previous ones, mostly
Yeah.
because they weren't really doing things connected with New York City in the past.
Because, well,
ones.
yeah, big potatoes, small potatoes,
Yeah,
right?
and, like I know that I mentioned this to you probably on the way out of the movie theater, but like I'm pretty sure this is the first time Tom Holland Spider-Man has spent the entirety of a film in New York.
I don't think in any of the other films he's really in New York.
Yeah, like it finally like, and especially with the credits, the way that like it's so different. It's not animated like all the other ones.
no,
going
it's
through,
just
like-
stills of New York.
It's literally just they put a camera and sat it there for an hour or something, filming a shot in New York City of real people
Mhm.
doing real things, living their life, and it was beautiful.
I hope to high heaven that this dude gets a symbiote. Oh,
Yeah, that would again be something like leveling up. That'd be like another like this is a Peter Parker story
that's how they could get Mr. Negative in.
with Venom.
Yeah, like the kind of the Insomniac storyline. But that'd be cool to see.
Yeah, it would just honestly like part of me doesn't want this because I know the implications of it, but I feel like Tom Holland's Spider-Man is deserving of a series. I feel like they need to have like just Spider-Man show in New York, 50-minute episodes.
And not
12
like animated. Yeah, like
No, like I want to know like now that Spider-Man has evolved and he's different, he's got like, higher arachnid DNA than human DNA, and he's balanced all of that within himself, how he's going to tackle New York's crime problem
Mhm.
and supernatural crime
Well, and
problem
like watching him
with
like
himself.
just put belt to ass with the Scorpion when he goes into like
He literally turns into
mutant
Insomniac
mode.
Peter Parker.
Yeah.
He literally does some of those finishers. like, geez, dude.
I don't kill, but I make them brain dead.
Yeah, I pulled a Batman. Literally became like my kill code means like if they got 1 BPM, we're good.
On life support is still life.
Vegetables still kicking it.
But I think that actually is one thing that I wanted to talk about. Like that definitely played to the strengths of this movie was watching like the inner fight. I was gonna say like the combat between like Spider-Man versus Peter Parker, right? And how like the entire movie's message was like you can't be both, right? And I think that's been like that's why the characters always stood out is because Peter Parker's life sucks and Spider-Man is such a beloved character that it's a little mind-blowing that he's able to balance those. And this movie showed like I really enjoyed the coming to terms with it.
Yeah. Like I mentioned before, like I felt like this was like very much like a character focused and not so much plot focused
Mm-hmm.
film. And I think that is really prevalent with the way that they did Jean Grey.
Mm-hmm.
Like very classic, like I need to get to the bottom of what they did to my sister, and then this telepathic message I received from her in her dying moments is all I have to go off of.
Which is
And-
crazy reveal.
Yeah. It is-
Crazy reveal.
It is like a little dark. I know that
It's
like the
very dark.
yeah, a lot of what like the reaction I've seen from people online has like mostly been like disappointment that that's what it ended up being, but like I don't
Mine's been
It's
on
like-
opposite because I'm on Pokemon. I'm on the Pokemon, and VMAX is like a
Yeah.
Pokemon thing.
Yeah, I've been seeing those
So it was
too.
like Pokemon users when they said VMAX.
Sarah Gray had a god pack. And it killed her.
It was too great. 4 gold hollows.
Gene, you gotta see this. Stop. Damage control, they're hogging all the good stuff.
The Charizard gold is in here.
Tremelt Tillman has it around his neck.
Jake Paul style.
You gotta see this.
You will tell me how to get that card.
She pulled it in this room. My sister pulled it in this room.
And now you will watch me take it from you. Pulls it out of like the plastic card sleeve. The value. One move, Spider-Man,
and I tear it.
and it gets it. It's like
Hang
a
on,
bunch
Gene,
of them.
hang on.
Gene, I live in an attic apartment. I need that roll. Woo. But I actually really enjoyed Jean Grey too as a character. I know that a lot of people have been saying it, and I don't know how I feel about it, so I won't touch on it too much. But I know a lot of people are like shipping Spider-Man and Jean Grey.
I've not seen that, but I think people are just like, white redhead in Spider-Man
Yeah.
kind of a thing.
This Spider-Man is in dire need of a Gwen Stacy, and that's as far as I'll go on that subject. But Jean Grey's character was actually really entertaining because I have found her character so insufferable and all of the other X-Men material that it was nice to see a Jean Grey that wasn't a pouty baby.
Yeah. I do think like it's pretty clear to me that, you know, if they're the way that they're gonna go with mutants and the X-Men in like main universe MCU outside of like Doomsday, where it's clearly gonna be like they came in from the multiverse and this is the version of the X-Men, the in-universe version of them is younger.
Yeah.
Right? And like all the
Yeah.
previous versions of the X-Men that
They've
we've
been
seen,
old.
they're like already old, they're developed into their powers, and
Yeah.
like they jump right in the action.
Yeah.
Magneto doing bad thing.
The only person that I
Go
actually hope that
To me, my X-Men.
the only person I hope that they keep old if they do like go that direction, other than the obvious like Magneto and Professor X, is Wolverine. I think
He's supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
He was born in the 1800s, kind
Yeah.
of a deal.
yeah,
I think that they will
because it would be
honor that, but they are, you know, well within their rights to cast a younger
yes, yes.
Just
but
hopefully, I'm just hoping like late 20s to mid 30s.
see,
They're,
I
like,
hope
old enough. I don't want
I
old
hope
man
that-
Logan right off the bat.
I hope they cast Henry Cavill. I really enjoyed.
I feel like them
that
putting
in
him
the Deadpool.
in Deadpool and Wolverine is their way of saying they're not going
yeah, but
because they're like, hey, we honored what you all wanted.
but that is like a other than Hugh Jackman. I feel like that was a match made in heaven. But
Yeah, I feel like that one is going to be a really grueling casting process, and like if history tells us anything, Marvel has really good casting directors.
Yeah.
And they usually are really good
they
at picking
think
people.
they think really hard about it. Well, I think
They
that,
don't really have like Stan Lee's blessings as much anymore, but
no, but I think they now know. But if they cast wrong,
they have
the
to
court
recast.
of public opinion will eat them alive.
Anyway, Ryan Gosling is Ghost Rider.
Holy moly!
Anyway, Spider-Man.
But no. What was something that?
Kind of been talking about what we've enjoyed this whole
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
But like I guess something I guess to your opinion, not so much the public one, that you might disagree with me anyway over is I actually really liked MJ in this movie.
Yeah.
I really liked the way that they took that direction. And I know that like the general online consensus has been like how devastating it was when she was like, I don't love you. I don't even know you. But like, I wasn't expecting anything different.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but the night before, I literally told you and everyone we were with that I'm like, if they somehow find a way to bring back Spider-Man and MJ, like I will get up and I will throw a tomato at the screen. Right? Like if they do anything along those lines, I feel like they will undo the whole weight that they built up, right? They will literally Mandalorian and Grogu Spider-Man, right? Let's have this huge moment and he's back,
Yeah.
right? So I would agree. I would agree that and really I would also agree because I personally, and not just this MJ, like MJ as a whole, all MJ. I find MJ's character insufferable.
The only one to me that I like is Peter B. Parker's
Yes.
MJ, where she's there for all of 2 seconds.
Yes. But every iteration we've had of MJ has just been poor. And that's not the that's not the actor's fault and blah, blah, blah. Like, I just think that MJ sucks. And I actually don't think I'm alone with that. I'm pretty sure that's the common consensus. But this was the first performance with an MJ in it that I was like, thank you. Like, this is not some awful character that's written poorly and has to be like girl boss to the point where she has to overshadow Spider-Man. Like, they can have their big moments in an MJ moment. It's not like MJ man.
Yeah.
You know, like how it is in the Spider-Man game and the first Tobey Maguire stuff, where it's always like anytime MJ's there, she's always like, all we ever do is talk about you. And Spider-Man's like, well, it is my thing. I am the title. Right? Sorry. That was a tangent. Uncorked
We
a-
love women on the Fringe podcast.
No, yeah, Gwen Stacy, awesome character.
No, but like I was saying,
Gwen Stacy is like my wife.
like he was saying,
My wife is literally Gwen Stacy.
my wife.
Hence the reason I fell in love with her. Too bad she's not watching this.
Grace.
As he was saying,
As I was saying, it felt like they did a really good job of maturing Michelle Jones in the 4 or 5 years since No Way Home happened. Like she was still very much like the somewhat dark and broody, like very independent, but also extremely caring and loving personality, just not with Spider-Man or with Peter Parker.
yeah,
And so when they were interacting, and especially once, you know, they had that big reveal and that big like intimate scene with one another, it was like, oh, it's still calm. And like they're still like they can still be like good friends. And even though it is like harder for Peter to come to grips with that, he's had 5 years and the last few days to really mature about it and to like just care for her and Ned, but for them to be them and him be him. Because they were trying to hammer home the point that like he was kind of being Spider-Man just so that one day might be able to tell MJ again, but he doesn't want to know what's going to happen when he does. And then when it finally happens, he's not the one who did it, which is what made it even better for him anyway. I just think it was a really well-written scene. And the fact that it takes place on the Punisher's
homeboat.
submarine, like made it all the better.
Yeah. Well, and I liked like going with that, like further into the movie. I really liked like the dynamic that they reestablished, right? Where they were like, I don't know, I got the vibes that they were like a friend group almost, like how they used to be, but they've all moved past it, right? Like Spider-Man was able to accept, well, Peter Parker was able to accept that what he had is gone, but that doesn't mean they're gone.
Yeah.
Kind of, right? So I kind of hope that as they go forward, like I really hope they introduce Gwen Stacy, or at least
Give him a love interest.
A love interest.
One that hopefully lasts. I feel like this Spider-Man deserves to be happy.
Yes.
His trauma should not always include
But they
the one
should
he loves.
They should be able to be like friends, right?
Yeah.
And I think that it like could turn into a really good moment where like MJ just hits Peter with you know, what we had was probably great, but you deserve to be happy. And this MJ is happy seeing you happy.
It's kind
Because
of
you
like
you spent so much time making sure we were okay, right? Which is kind of like where they were going in this
Yeah.
movie.
it's kind of like, you know, the opposite spectrum of the Star-Lord Gamora situation.
Mm-hmm.
The whole I bet we were fun. That also was like, you know, like, oh,
It was, yeah.
but then, they're like, we're co-workers kind of a thing.
Yeah.
She joined the Ravagers. Yeah. And then
Mhm.
he was with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now it's like, I don't love you. I feel like I don't even know you, but do you want to go say hi to Ned?
Mhm.
Kind of a thing. And
Yeah.
then everything that went down the next 30 minutes afterward.
Well, and I hope that because there's been a lot of theories about when Jean Grey takes control of the city, she unlocks their memories again.
Yeah, I don't think.
I hope that that's not a thing.
I'm pretty sure it
and
was established that they she said when she was possessing MJ that there was no memory of Peter at all.
Yeah.
There was nothing in there of him.
Yeah.
I think that everything about them was just erased fully.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that because they show Spider-Man and Ned doing their handshake and they're gaining some kind of a friendship back. If Ned gets his memories back, I hope that they don't bring the Spider-Man MJ story back.
No, I don't think they would. If anything, I don't even think that moment at the end was signifying that he could remember him. It was just him remembering, oh, this Peter is Spider-Man, because he said, "Hey, I'm Peter," and then they're doing that, and he's thinking "Oh, you're a friend," and then he's remembering who the friend named Peter he was just with. I'm thinking that's just him realizing that is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Not so much Peter Parker, because I feel like it would have had a different reaction. I feel like there would have been tears involved.
Yeah.
If, suddenly your best friend that you forgot all about suddenly came flooding back into your mind.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh.
But I hope that they can go into being I hope that that's a friend group, the Spidey group that we see going forward.
It kind of just is they're still they're both the guy in the chair kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can hope for the same. But I think regardless of those,
I trust that they'll take it a good. This movie gives me hope that this new trilogy won't have a singular miss of a movie.
yeah, I'm not necessarily saying that
It
I
won't
hope
have a
that
Far
they-
From Home.
that they keep this same director this whole time, because this is this, I can't remember his name. His name's Daniel something.
Yeah.
He also directed Shang-Chi.
Really?
Yeah, and
I just hope they don't go
also
back to John.
a really good one. No. But he's a really good director for superhero movies. I think he does a really good job framing character and action and story and familial connection very well. And I also think that a big reason this movie ended up as good and written as good as it did is because I'm pretty sure Tom Holland had a lot of input.
Yeah. Tom Holland's big enough and famous enough that he can go, I'm not doing this unless we do this.
And they probably asked him. They gave him, they asked for ideas and stuff. And I've seen
He's
that,
there's been a couple pressers where he's like, if we're doing this, we're doing what the fans want. We're doing this right.
yeah, and I think it's really helpful that he is also just a really big fan of Spider-Man himself. This is one of the few instances where someone who's a big fan of a character or franchise that actually translates well into the actual character or franchise. Because him saying I loved the Spider-Man video games on the PlayStation, and then that directly translating
into
a
the
lot
movie
of the slow motion poses, the comic book covers, the finishers from the games. It's you might not catch it immediately,
but
remembering
going back through,
you're oh my gosh, this is the Spider-Man that I know now.
Yeah.
Because this is the Spider-Man I've been interacting
This is the
with
Spider-Man
for the last 10 years.
This is the Spider-Man I grew up with. This is the Spider-Man that I've been watching for the last 10 years. This is the Spider-Man I've been playing.
Exactly.
Right? It's all of the Spider-Man content. Yeah.
So I feel if they could if they do that with a lot of the other characters,
Rinse and repeat, baby.
It's a formula for success.
You remade the wheel. Now just keep driving.
Precisely.
Don't stop the car. Lightning struck twice. Keep that momentum going.
Exactly.
Right. Well, rewatchability.
Out of sheer rewatchability, I give it a 9.
I would give it a 9 too.
Most superhero movies have a high rewatchability simply for like cool factor or like what you watch when you just need something to watch. But like this is the kind of like superhero movie that like you can put on while you're doing your laundry or something, and all of a sudden your laundry isn't finished because you're hooked
Yeah.
on the film.
I would give this not a 10 because it's definitely not going to be a movie that I'm like, and I'm watching Spider-Man today.
Yeah.
Right?
You're not like at work thinking like, I'm going to watch Spider-Man Brand New Day when I get home. I could really use that
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. I feel like those are really reserved for the classics for me. But 9 out of 10, I would give it. Like, if I were scrolling through the movies wanting to watch a movie and I saw Spider-Man Brand New Day, I'd be like, sure.
Like, yeah, I'm watching that again.
Yeah.
I kind of forget something that happened or
Yeah.
whatever.
Rating. Well, I guess the rewatchability, we've always done 1 through 5.
Have we?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well,
4.
4.5.
4.5. It's a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Now rate the movie 1 through 10.
Off of first watch, I'd give it an 8.7.
Yeah, I think I gave Project Hail Mary
I don't
a 9. I think I gave it a 9. So I'd probably give this one like an 8.7, 8.5.
Yeah, I really very refreshing.
At some point, we'll put
Think-
up on the screen like Frame Rate's movie of the year tracker, the track until the Oscars.
Yeah, maybe we
But-
need to actually determine and agree upon what we
But
think
for
it is.
me, like this is definitely a hard second.
Yeah,
Like Hail Mary is my favorite movie of the year so far, and this one is really gonna give Dune 3 and Doomsday a serious run for its money for that number 2/1 spot.
I mean, I'm willing to make the prediction now that I think that, especially after these current projections and all like current results, I think that this movie will equal, if not have eclipsed, the money that Doomsday brings.
Oh yeah, I mean it's already like Endgame
Definitely.
status.
Definitely more profitable.
It's already at Endgame status, and it's had
It's had a weekend.
yeah.
I didn't think that Endgame's domestic box office record was ever going to be broken by
No.
anything.
And it got
Except for like if they somehow rebooted Star Wars again.
well, and not even that, but the global box office almost got touched. Like Brand New Day was only behind by like 10 to 15 million,
Yeah. So
and it smashed it in the domestic.
I'm hoping that this just means that all of a sudden Marvel projects are gonna have
We're
all
back,
that money in
baby.
them again. Ryan Gosling as Ghost Rider is gonna look so clean.
Gonna be crazy.
Maybe we'll touch on that later. I don't really have a lot of thoughts about that, but you know, we gotta be done. We gotta be done. You have anything else you want to say?
Nope.
Oh.
It's just a talking dog.
Not always about the money, Spider-Man.
It's about the Mets.
It's about the Mets, baby. I love the Mets. Go Mets.
I saw the Mets flag behind Spider-Man in his room.